it is our pleasure to give you, SARRC, our $111,909.83 check for you to further your own mission.
My name is Danny Openden. I'm the President and CEO of the Southwest Autism Research and Resource Center, or SARRC, in Phoenix, Arizona. 2022 is SARRC's 25-year anniversary, and we were originally founded by two parents of children with autism and their developmental pediatrician. And the goals in those early days were to make sure that we were always answering questions and questioning answers. And that started through doing research and eventually led into services and programs for children with autism. And then we kind of grew up with those parents' kids with autism. So as they got older, programs at SARRC met the ages that they got. So we started in teens and adults with autism, and now we're working on trying to help adults learn to live independently, because we know that one of the biggest fears for so many parents is what's going to happen and who's going to care for my child when I'm no longer able to do so.
Well, we came across SARRC quite a few years ago. They diagnosed my daughter with an eye tracking movement, and then they diagnosed my son with video conferencing during COVID, both at 18 months of age each. So when Eileen reached out and wanted me to pick a organization that was close and dear to my heart, it was SARRC, and there was no question that it had to be them.
One of the first clients that I ever worked with was a 2-year-old child with autism. He was completely nonverbal, highly disruptive, but slowly we started working with him and he started improving, and we saw him start to speak and to be able to communicate, and those problem behaviors started to go down. But a few months in, his mom said, you know, we're having great success here, but the one thing that I want more than anything else in the world is just to hear him call me mama. He's never said mama, he's never used that word before, and I'm grateful for how much he's talking, but that's what I really want more than anything else. And for me, it was like, challenge accepted, we can do that. And so we were in this therapy room, and I said to the mom, I said, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna send you outside of the room, and inside the door is this kind of like rectangular glass area that allowed you to see just a little bit inside to the room. And I said, you know, I want you to stay out of the room and look through the window, but I want you to open it only if he says mama. And she goes, okay. So I send her out of the room, and he's in there and he's playing with me, and then after a little bit I say, hey, you know, Peter, look, check out, you know, mom's outside the room. And he comes running over the door, sees his mom, who he really loves more than anything, outside the door, and he just starts banging on this door and rocking it back and forth and screaming and crying, you know, like trying to get him open. Then he, you know, can't get it open because he's not saying mama, right? So he finally gets up, and I come up to him and I say, oh, Peter, if you want mom, just mama, and prompt him to say mama. And he just throws himself on the floor and has this massive tantrum. And I'm thinking to myself, great, now this mom probably thinks I'm torturing her son, right? But after a little bit, he kind of gets up and he walks towards the door, and I prompt him again and I say, mama? And he goes, ah, you know, kind of screams at me. And I say it again, mama, and he starts, you know, crying and screaming, and he's throwing himself on the floor again. Still won't say it. And then he comes up again, and he looks up, and I go, mama? And he pauses, and then he goes, mama. And we burst open that door, and mom comes like running in, and she picks him up, and she's spinning around and hugging and kissing him and going crazy because she just accomplished a major thing. And then I told her what no mom wants to hear after that story. I said, okay, I'm gonna have you go back outside the room again. We're gonna do this again. And so we send her back out the room and do it again, and then we do it again, and we do it again. And after the 6th, 7th, or 8th try, she's walking out of the room, and I go to close the door, and he goes, mama, before she has a chance to leave. And we knew it had reached our goal. And that kind of hope of what we can do, like there's nothing we can't teach people with autism. There's not hope that we can't give to their families, that we could do anything that's really possible for us if we're thinking about it the right way, if we're using the right science and the right interventions to be able to help people achieve their goals.
Do you want another piece?
What would the world look like if SARRC were to achieve all of its goals? And the answer to that question became our purpose, our vision, our why, and why we come to work every day and get up in the morning and do this work. And the answer to that question is people with autism meaningfully integrated into inclusive communities. I often say that there's kind of a yin and yang to SARRC, right? On one side, we're trying to improve the behaviors and skills of people with autism. And on the other side, we're equally trying to improve the behaviors and skills of the communities in which they live. So an equal amount of our focus is on helping people with autism, but it's also about changing and improving the community that they live in so that they can be a part of the incredible communities that we have and are included in those communities as both active participants and contributors. Same goes with our adults with autism. It's not just about charitably hiring adults with autism, it's about competitively hiring adults with autism, having the expectations that they can do everything that anybody else on that job site can do if we modify and accommodate the environment to allow them to do so. And then finally into inclusive communities.
On behalf of Kylene, Olivia, myself, all of the business partners with Enchanted Fairies, all of our amazing team members that work every single day to provide magic for children and further our mission to enrich the lives of children, and all of our esteemed guests that supported SARRC all throughout the month of August, it is our pleasure to give you, SARRC, our $111,909.83 check for you to further your own mission in enriching all of these children's lives and making this world a more beautiful place.
We are eternally grateful to everyone at Enchanted Fairies, and Kylene, especially to you, to nominating SARRC, and we're so grateful to hear stories like yours that we've impacted families in such an important way. Can't say enough about how grateful we are for Kylene, for Olivia, for you, Eileen, and everybody at all the Enchanted Fairies. We are overwhelmed and humbled by this incredible support. I think what keeps us going more than anything is the hope that we see every day for children with autism.